Good morning everyone and welcome to the class. We are doing the chapter Environment and Natural Resources, and under this chapter we have discussed up to now about the reason for including these topics of geography in the subject of political science, especially in the subject of international politics. We have seen the reason, we have discussed the reason, and then we have discussed what efforts were taken at the global level in order to upgrade the environment, in order to solve the environmental problems, in order to conserve the natural resources. What steps were taken by the at the global level. And in this regard, the most important step is Rio Summit, which is also called Earth Summit, and we have discussed about this Rio Summit. The main outcome of this Rio Summit was that the divide between the north and the south became very clear through this summit, because it was understood through this summit that the concern of the north, global north, and the concern of the global south is completely different from each other. And in this regard, we have also discussed about common but differentiated responsibilities. The responsibilities are common, but they are differentiated. It means that the responsibility of the global north is different from that of the global south, because they are responsible for spreading, they are responsible for polluting the environment. They are responsible for downgrading the environment for the last 200 to 300 years. So they are more responsible for making the environment clean. They are more responsible for upgrading the environment, while the developing countries are not having such responsibility, because in developing countries this process of industrialization started hardly before 70 years maximum. So it's like a differentiated responsibility. The responsibilities are different for each set of countries. Okay, now we have also discussed about UNFCCC, that is the implementation of the this Rio Summit. Whatever decision was taken during the Rio Summit, that decisions came into implementation through this UNFCCC, which was United Nations Framework on Convention for Climate Change. तो ये UNFCCC जो है इससे इम्प्लीमेंट किया गया every decisions which were taken during the Rio Summit. And this UNFCCC has divided the countries into three categories, as we have seen. Some are developed countries, some are kept under developed countries with financial responsibility, and some are kept under the category of developing countries. So in this we see that the first category जो था, in that category all the developed countries are included. Okay, in the second category, those countries are excluded in which the process of this democratization and the process of market economy is going on. The process is not complete. Those countries are kept out of second category, and in countries which are included in the second category, they are given some financial responsibility. That is very important to understand, because these are the countries which are considered to be mainly responsible for environmental problems. So they are given some financial responsibility. They are given that this responsibility that they should help the developing countries to transfer them technology and financial help also. Okay, so this responsibility lies on the countries which are kept in the second category. And in the third category, the developing countries are there, who are supposed to follow the norms, who are supposed to give all its information to the UNFCCC headquarters. Okay, so this up to now we have discussed everything about UNFCCC, and in this regard one more thing was there, Kyoto Protocol, which came into operation from 2005 to 2020. और क्योटो प्रोटोकॉल में इसको इम्प्लीमेंट कर दिया गया पूरी तरह से। जो भी UNFCCC का डिसीज़न था, UNFCCC के ही अंदर क्योटो प्रोटोकॉल हुआ, एंड क्योटो प्रोटोकॉल के ख़त्म होने के पहले ही दूसरा हमारा पेरिस एग्रीमेंट भी हो गया 2016 में। सो ऑल दीज आर इम्पॉर्टेंट स्टेप्स इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ एनवायरमेंटल protection and environmental upgradation at the global level. And in the previous class we have discussed, I'm telling you these things because you just try to understand. In your book all the informations are given scattered. You will be confused. You will be confused to relate to relate which portion with which, है ना। तो इसलिए ये आपको मैंने जिस तरीके से बताया है, अगर आप उस तरीके से समझेंगे तो ये आपके लिए आसान होगा। बिकॉज टेक्स्ट बुक में जो दिया है वो काफ़ी कहीं कहीं पर कंफ्यूजिंग हो जा रहा है, इसलिए इसको इसी तरह से पढ़िए। रियो समिट का जो मेन आउटकम था, दैट वाज कॉमन बट डिफरेंशिएटेड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़, एंड इट वाज इम्प्लीमेंटेड थ्रू दिस UNFCCC, and then Kyoto Protocol was done, and after that Paris Agreement. So these are the sequence of understanding and studying. Okay, so now we are considering global commons. As we have seen in the previous class, we have completed this discussion as well. Global commons are those areas of the world which are not in the ownership of any, which are not inside the sovereign authority of any country. Okay, these are the places which are not under the control of any countries. They are completely out of sovereign authority of any country, and it is supposed to be managed and owned by the international community, and we can see the examples as well. So these global commons include Antarctica, then Earth's atmosphere, and outer space, ocean floor. These are the places which comes under global commons, which cannot be controlled by any single country, which are beyond the sovereign territory of any country. And we see that there is need of cooperation over the global commons, because without cooperation these global commons cannot be managed properly. But at the same time it is also true that it is not easy to get cooperation of countries on this matter. It is a very it is such a matter on which cooperation is not easy to achieve, and still we can see that so many agreements have been done for these global commons, for the management of these global commons. Like in 1959 Antarctic Treaty was done. Okay, in 1959 this Antarctic Treaty was done. Then Montreal Protocol was also done, and then Montreal Protocol was done in the year 1987. Okay, Montreal Protocol it was done in the 1987, and in 1991 again Antarctic Environmental Protocol was signed among the countries. So it was in the year 1991. Antarctic Environmental Protocol. Okay, so these are the agreements which was done to manage the global commons. Okay, so what we find that in all these ecological issues, all these environmental issues, there is difficulty in achieving consensus. The countries are not having similar views. They are not having similar views on common agenda, isn't it? The countries are having different views, and because of that it is really difficult to set the agenda, because the agenda should be set according to the scientific evidences, and there must be a time frame for achieving any goal, for implementing any agenda. But if this is not done, then it really becomes difficult. The countries want to have their own view. They want to that the global commons should be managed in such a way that they should have their own way. But all countries, if all the countries are thinking in the same way, then there will be very much difficulty in getting the consensus. And वही होता है. The agreement, the management should be done according to the whatever scientific evidences are available, and according to a particular time frame. Okay, and what we find that so many problems, so many challenges are there in front of human being, like depletion in the ozone layer, जिसको हम ओजोन होल कहते हैं. दिस ओजोन होल जो कि एंटार्क्टिका के ऊपर है, ये हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ा, इस तरह के जो चैलेंजेस हैं वो आज के समय में हमारे लिए एक बहुत ही मेजर चैलेंज है. ठीक है. एंड if we see the history of outer space, just we are taking the example of outer space, and in this regard what we find that the management of these areas like outer space is completely influenced by north-south inequalities, as we are seeing that there is inequality in the global north and global south, isn't it? तो ये जो इनइक्वालिटी है ग्लोबल नॉर्थ और ग्लोबल साउथ के बीच में, इसमें क्या है, वी फाइंड दैट ग्लोबल कॉमन्स पे जो इन्फ्लुएंस होता है वो नॉर्थ का होता है, बिकॉज दे आर developed, they are rich, they have not only they are not only having the economic resources, but technologically, scientifically they are far ahead of the developing countries. So they have influence, they have more control over these global commons. They have the resources, all kind of resources. So this divide we can see in the management of these global commons. लाइक अर्थ्स एटमॉस्फेयर की भी अगर हम बात करें, ओशन फ्लोर्स की भी बात करें, तो यहाँ पर भी वही बातें हो जाती हैं जो भी डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज़ हैं उनका इन पे इम्पॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. ठीक है. एंड व्हाट वी फाइंड कि अगर हम ये सोचते हैं कि वट एवर एक्टिविटीज़ आर गोइंग ऑन in the outer space, that will be equally divided among the countries. That is not possible. The benefit of all the activities, all the exploration of the outer space are going to be achieved only by the developed countries. It's a fact. These are the problems in international politics. You will always find only one proverb which completely suits this condition of international politics, that is might is right. Okay, माइट ही राइट है. जिसके पास पावर है वो सही है, चाहे वो गलत भी हो, इमोरल हो, इलीगल भी हो, but still he will be right because he is mighty. The country is mighty. We are talking about a country. तो यहाँ पर इंटरनेशनल पॉलिटिक्स में बस यही रूल चलता है, might is right. Okay, तो ये हम लोग देख लिए, we have discussed about it, and now we are switching to a new topic. Okay. Now our next topic is common property resources. Now, first of all, common property means the property which is not owned by any individual, but the property which is for the group, है ना? The property for the group is known as common property. जो पूरी ग्रुप के लिए प्रॉपर्टी होती है उसी को हम कॉमन प्रॉपर्टी कहते हैं. लाइक किसी लोकेलिटी में पार्क है, पार्क इज़ देयर, देन द पार्क इज़ नॉट अंडर द इंडिविजुअल ओनरशिप. The park is owned by the whole community, all the people who are living in the locality. In the similar way, like forest area is there, then this forest is also not owned by any individual, but it is owned by the whole community. So this is known as common property. There are two types of property: individual property and common property. Individual property is that which is owned by an individual, है ना? But common property is owned by the group, all the people. So here what we find that the members of the group have both rights and duties with the property. If we are saying that the common property belongs to the group, then it's not only about the rights that they can use the park. Okay, the park will be used by the people of the locality, but at the same time this is our right to use that park. This is our right to go and enjoy the beauty of the park, have a walk, or take a ride in the swing or whatever. This is our right, but at the same time we have some duties as well. We should maintain the park, है ना? तो इट इज़ बोथ द थिंग्स. एक तरफ हमारे कुछ राइट्स होते हैं, एक तरफ हमारे कुछ ड्यूटीज़ होते हैं, है ना? राइट्स एंड ड्यूटीज़. ओके, नाउ व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय दिस अंडर दिस कॉमन प्रॉपर्टी के अंदर हम देखते हैं कि जो जैसे हमने फॉरेस्ट की बात की, ठीक है. फॉरेस्ट इज़ अ natural resource. Okay, now the community is using this forest, so it's not like that ki they can only use the forest. They have some duties regarding the forest. They must control the level of use. They should not overuse. They should not misuse the resources. There should be levels of use. ओके, कैसे हमारी ड्यूटीज़ क्या है? राइट्स पे हमें जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. वी नो आवर राइट्स, हमें उसके सारी चीज़ें हमारी हैं, हम उसको यूज़ कर सकते हैं, बट वी इग्नोर द ड्यूटीज़. इट हैपन्स, है ना? वी पुट मोर स्ट्रेस ऑन ड्यूटीज़ एंड वी पुट मोर स्ट्रेस ऑन राइट्स एंड ड्यूटीज़ आर नेग्लेक्टेड. It happens. It's human nature, but we need to modify our nature. We should pay attention towards duties as well. Then only it will be maintained. Then only we will be able to use that resource. Then only we will be able to enjoy our rights, isn't it? In the absence of duties, rights will become meaningless after some period of time. So it is very much important that we must pay attention on the duties. What are the duties? The first is levels of use. यूज़ करने का लेवल आपका क्या है? It should not be overused. It should not be misused. Okay, and there should be maintenance of a given resource. जो भी resource commonly own की जा रही है, that should be maintained. मेंटेनेंस ऑफ द रिसोर्स, है ना. So the resources should be maintained. So mutual understanding and there is mutual understanding among the people. How all these happening? कैसे common property जो है उसकी कैसे management हो रही है? How it is managed? It is managed by the common people, and the common people, they are having mutual understanding among themselves. This is in this way it is going on. There is no written rules, isn't it? There is no written rules. There is no punishment. There is no system of punishment or anything like that. So there is mutual understanding, and there are practices which are going on for centuries, है ना, जो सदियों से जिसको हम कहेंगे, जो practices जो हैं वो चली आ रही हैं. So जो भी हमारी सेंचुरी ओल्ड प्रैक्टिस है उसके अकॉर्डिंगली इनका मैनेजमेंट होता रहता है. एवरीवन नोज देयर राइट्स एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ एज वेल, एंड इन दिस वे वी कैन से जो भी ग्लोबल कॉमन्स हैं उनका यूज़ हो रहा है ना. बट व्हाट वी फाइंड दैट देयर आर सम फैक्टर्स विच आर कॉजिंग दिस प्रॉब्लम इन दिस मैनेजमेंट ऑफ global management of common property. Because of these factors which we are going to discuss, because of these factors, what happened that it is being mismanaged. There is lack of management. The management is not done properly. So the factors are like rising population. That is the most important factor which is causing encroachment in the common property. The common property is being encroached by individuals. Why? Because there is ever increasing, the population is ever increasing. The needs of the people are ever increasing. So in order to satisfy the ever increasing needs of the ever increasing population, what will be done? These common properties are encroached. There are other factors as well which is associated with population growth only. Agricultural intensification is also going on. There is need to produce more and more food for fulfilling the needs of this rising population. So in order to increase the output of agriculture, there will be need to expand the area of agriculture. Then this privatization is done. In today's time, the more stress is given on privatization. So all these are the factors we can say which have played their role in the mismanagement of the global commons. Okay, and this is the reason that ecosystem is now degrading, and the size of common property is also decreasing because encroachment हो रहा है. जो इंडिविजुअल्स हैं, प्राइवेट इंडिविजुअल्स हैं, प्राइवेट कंपनीज हैं, दे आर एनक्रोचिंग, है ना. तो इसकी वजह से हम क्या कहेंगे कि जो साइज़ है कॉमन प्रॉपर्टी की, साइज़ में कमी आती जा रही है, क्वालिटी ख़राब होती जा रही है, क्वांटिटी ख़राब होती जा रही है. और जो कॉमन प्रॉपर्टी से सबसे ज़्यादा जिसको अगर बेनिफिट होता है तो वो कौन सा क्लास है? दैट इज़ द पुअर क्लास ऑफ दिस सेक्शन, है ना. और तो अगर कॉमन प्रॉपर्टी की क्वांटिटी कम हो गई, क्वालिटी ख़राब हो गई, तो ऑब्वियसली इट इज़ गोइंग टू अफेक्ट द पुअर सेक्शन ऑफ द सोसाइटी, isn't it? And this is the problem, and what is required that they should be managed properly, है ना. And here also some controversy arises. The controversy is regarding that who should be given the right to manage the property, like common property. The community should be given this right, or the government, the state government should be given this should have this right to manage the common property. There is a controversy because the community wants that the common properties should be managed by the community only, but many times the government interfere in the management of these common properties. And in this regard, we need to mention one of the important common property, that is sacred groves. ओके, सेक्रेड ग्रोव से हम क्या मीन करते हैं? सेक्रेड ग्रोव्स मोस्टली जो होते हैं वो हमारे साउथ इंडिया में होते हैं. दे आर सिचुएटेड इन साउथ इंडिया. ग्रोव्स ग्रुप ऑफ ट्रीज है, फॉरेस्ट एरिया जिसको कि सेक्रेड माना जाता है. ऐसा माना जाता है इट इज़ इट्स अ काइंड ऑफ प्रैक्टिस दैट द एंसेस्टर्स आर लिविंग इन दीज ग्रोव्स. हमारे जो एंसेस्टर्स हैं जिनकी डेथ हो चुकी है, नाउ दीज ancestors are living in these groups, that is why these groups are considered as sacred. ठीक है, तो ये जो sacred groups हैं इनका जो मैनेजमेंट होता है वो विलेज कम्युनिटी ही करती है. तो इस तरह का ये एक कंट्रोवर्सी आता है. मैनी टाइम्स इट हैपन्स कि जो कम्युनिटी कॉमन प्रॉपर्टी है दैट शुड बी मैनेज्ड by the community, and the government should not interfere in that common property management and ownership. In this regard, it is also said that the government is not the owner. No one is owning that common property. Like you will be reading this topic, Chipko movement, in the next book. There is this मूवमेंट्स वाला एक आपका चैप्टर है जिसमें ये एनवायरमेंटल मूवमेंट जो कि चिपको मूवमेंट स्टार्ट हुआ था, ये इसी पर स्टार्ट हुआ था. जो उत्तरांचल में जो फॉरेस्ट एरियाज थे वो दे दिया गया था स्पोर्ट्स कंपनी को उसके वुड को यूज़ करने के लिए बाय द गवर्नमेंट. एंड जो कम्युनिटी थी वहाँ पे उन्होंने इसको अपोज किया. ये मूवमेंट चला है जिसको हम चिपको आंदोलन के नाम से जानते हैं. तो इट इज़ कि जो कॉमन प्रॉपर्टी है दे आर नॉट द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट एज वेल. It's not like that कि government has complete authority over that property, and government can manage it in any way, in whatever way it can want, in whatever way it want it can manage. It's not like that. ये गलत है ना. तो इसी के रिगार्डिंग वो था, उसको आप लोग डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे, then things will become more clear to you. And now our next topic is India's stand on environmental issues. What is the stand of India? This is very important because nowadays what you find that environmental issues has become of utmost importance. The biggest challenge in front of human being is environmental problems, environmental degradation. So what we find that such questions are very important. They form very important part in the board exams. ये एनवायरमेंटल इश्यूज़ पे एक क्वेश्चन तो आना, ये खास करके ये जो इंडिया का स्टैंड है ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है कि व्हाट इज़ द स्टैंड ऑफ आवर कंट्री रिगार्डिंग द एनवायरमेंटल इश्यूज़. सो दिस इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट फॉर यू टू remember, understand and memorize also. This is India's stand on environmental issues. Okay, India, as we know, we are one of the countries of global south. We are developing countries. We got independence in the year 1947, and after that the process of industrialization started in our country. Though even before the independence we have some industries, but that was very limited. So the process of industrialization actually started only after the independence. So we come under the global south. So accordingly we have a different responsibility. We are not having that responsibility which is the responsibility of America or Britain or any other European and American countries. We have lesser responsibilities, but we have played a very prominent role in these issues. Everything which every effort at the global level was supported by India. So this is all for today. We will continue with this discussion in the next class.